Find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a busy day? Cigars Lounge at 8th and Q in the Haymarket is the perfect place to enjoy good company, a cocktail, and of course a cigar. Visit Cigars Lounge on Tuesdays for Top Shelf Tuesday and enjoy 50% off select spirits. Cigars Lounge offers Perdomo, San Cristobal, Rock Patel, and more of the top stogie brands that you know and love. But that's not all. If you mention this ad between noon and 5 p.m., you'll receive 15% off your entire tab just by mentioning the ticket. Check out Cigars Lounge today at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Have you ever gotten a car deal so good that you can brag about for decades? This is that deal. The government has given us a $4,000 in instant credit on vehicles already at the historically lowest prices. Cars that were over $50,000 just 2 years ago are now selling below $20,000. See the deals here and drive away the car of your dreams at a price you never thought possible. Go to 4000off.com, 400off.com to learn more.
Fall is the perfect time to work on outdoor projects. Whether you plan to install a fence or add shrubs to your landscape, don't risk an injury by hitting a buried power line. Always call 811 before you dig.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see lots of sunshine with a light south breeze. See an afternoon high around 84. Tonight, clear skies with an overnight low around 59. And tomorrow, more sunshine with a continued south breeze and an afternoon high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got the former Husker himself, Chancellor Brewington, to my left. We also got the comments and already shout out Brave Husker joining in before the show even starts here. If you guys want to continue joining in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Outlook, Channel 961. As well as the Start to Him and text line. We still got Royals on the brick and mortar, but you can use that number, 402-464-5685. Chancellor Brewington, how's it going on Tuesday night?
It's going awesome. It's going awesome. I hope everyone out there is having a blessed day. It's been a busy day. It's exciting, man. It's exciting to see things grow, see things expand, see the evolution of things, and see how interesting this life is once you make your decision. Once you see the thing in your head, you decide and you make a decision that this is what you want and that this is where you want to go. And so that would be, we always start to show off with quarter century wisdom. I'm 25, Harrison is 25. So we always start to show off with some type of encouragement, wisdom, or, some type of appreciation that we have for life. And the one thing I'm learning right now is once you dream and you decide, and I'm reading this, oh my gosh, I'm reading this book. And as you can see, there's notes and there's pages, and this is,
you're one of those readers, marking it up.
Well, this one specifically, because when a book just speaks to you, like, hold on. But it's by Dr. Martin Williams, Dream, Desire, Decide. And it's all about deciding. And that's what I'm learning right now is decide what you want to be. Decide. And everything around you will be in your assistance if you decide. And so Nebraska needs to decide that we're going to beat Colorado this weekend.
That's a really good point.
That's what we need to decide. Just decide it. Just burn the boats. To burn the boats, meaning the reference of the Vikings back in the day. They burned the boats, and the fear set in their and the people they're about to conquer because these jokers are crazy. Just burn the boats and just decide that we're gonna win. And not only Nebraska win in the football game, but y'all win in life for everyone watching. Decide that you're gonna win. Decide that you're gonna take the next step in your life. Decide that you gonna go to the next level because you deserve it. And once you make up your mind, you really, really, really deserve it. So that's my word today, decide. But we got a good show coming up. We're going to talk a lot more Colorado. I want to talk a little bit about where Nebraska is in the week, being a former player, what it's like. It's so awesome I get to do this. Thank you to Derek Pearson, DP, for the opportunity to, just setting this whole thing up. This is just so awesome that you get to share what's on your mind and people actually want to listen to you. And it's awesome. So thank you. Tuesday is an interesting day for college football players. It's the hardest day. Tuesday practices are harder than the game, right? Them boys is probably, and you hit and tackle on Tuesday. So, you're probably practicing for, 2.5 hours today. Tuesday is an interesting day because Monday you're going through walkthrough. You're kind of going on game correction. You're going on things that, you kind of missed, or MAs, or, procedural things. There's times where, receivers were out of alignment, running back didn't know where to set up. So you're going over those things on Monday. Tuesday now turns into this thing where you're going over Colorado versus North Dakota State, the film, and you're seeing, I'm talking specifically for offense, you're seeing all the things that North Dakota State did well on against Colorado. I worded that weird, but any type of North Dakota State NDSU explosive play, meaning 15 yards or more, Nebraska usually in college football is pretty standard, that they'll formulate some type of scheme off of that speaks the language of their offense, right? So yeah, like let's say they run spread offense with all this stuff. If that's not Nebraska, they wouldn't do that, right? But they'll put it in their own language, right? That's why I like to say. So that's what Tuesday is. You're running through tons and tons and tons of plays. The main point you're running through these plays is just to get it on film. That's what you want to do. Just get it on film. So Wednesday you can correct it and slim it down. So what happens is you start off Tuesday, right? Or you start off Monday, really. You get this packet, right? You get this packet. They put the packet right there. You get this packet, right? And then all of a sudden, day by day, it just gets a little thinner. It's a little thinner. 2 plays get taken off. 10 plays get taken off. Hey, we're going to scrap, position coaches are coming in to meet. Hey, we're scrapping this play. We're scrapping this play. And then all of a sudden, Thursday, it gets fine-tuned. You're like, okay, this is what we're running with. Friday, by Thursday, the game plan's set. Friday, there might be one tiny wrinkle, but there shouldn't be any real adjustments on Friday. And you just get to go out there and have fun Saturday. And so I guess the point I want to start off with, talking about this game and the magnitude of it. When's the last time, Harrison, we've seen a game like this? Hype-wise.
09 Texas versus Nebraska.
That's what we're doing?
I think that's the best one I can throw at
That's
you.
what we're doing?
Yeah.
Second, probably Oregon game?
Yeah, I put that to this one. I mean, this one's probably going to be rivaling. It's weird, right? Because Colorado won 4 games last year, Nebraska won 5, and this is going to be up there with the 09 game with Texas.
Right.
I think that one probably sits higher, and I put this one to Oregon 3.
I'm not mad at that. The one thing I saw was, the one thing I'm seeing, further ahead is not only was, Nebraska, this was Dylan's first game at Nebraska this past weekend, 90,000. That was huge to play at home because you follow it up with the CU game. This is going to be the wildest environment that any Nebraska person on that team has played on, or played at, right? This is going to be the wildest environment.
And if we're doing wildest, making it a night game might put them at 1.
Right.
Just because the night game adds energy.
That's the factor. And I was talking with Justin Adams earlier today, and we were talking about what does this really add, the night game and the fans. I was like, this adds a lot.
We haven't had a lot of it in the past.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for Husker fans to get one.
So imagine, I say it like this. I would say probably 25% of 20% of the starters on Colorado, or just like a standard average football team, respond really well to environment and noise and stuff. It juices them up. Probably even slimmer, probably 15%. But for the other 85%, it adds a mental component, a mental barrier that they got to break through, and it adds more stress, more confusion, more being flustered out there for getting their assignments and stuff like that. So when I look at the night game and I look at the home game, Coach Rule was talking about the fans and the energy, that's going to be key. And what I heard was that this past weekend was a lot more energetic than just a regular home game that we've seen. Obviously, it's a home opener, we get it, but I think there's just a different. I don't know if you feel it, but just walking around the city, there's a different energy.
It's refined hope.
I like that.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
It's the point where there's walking into this, you with Dylan Raiola, if you're buying into being a generational quarterback and you're buying into Banks, you're just looking at their track record, you're looking at New York's track record, you actually have some confidence on the offense. The defensive side of the ball figured it out. Special teams was probably the only spot where you had a question mark, but it did feel like a season you're walking into where there was less question marks outside of how Dylan was going to play. But again, in the first 3 minutes, you felt pretty damn good about it. After watching a few of his throws, just think there was less question marks this year. You felt really good about the defensive side of the ball, and you liked what they brought in on offense. and then it's just going to come down to special teams. I think that's where it comes from. Like
Mm.
we haven't had a 5-star quarterback like this ever.
Okay, let me get your raw prediction right now. Super raw, and we'll revisit it on Thursday.
Oh, we get to revisit it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'll give you mine, and I'm super high right now. I'm about to break down the film on CU tomorrow, so I'm like, I'm super high right now. So what you
I don't think we pull away by a lot. I think we abuse them with the run game. I think we get the lead. I'm gonna go Nebraska. I'm gonna pick Nebraska for the win, of course. I'm gonna go 31-20.
Oh, I like. I was 38-21.
38-21.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And it might grow even more. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. So I want to.
Rivalry games are weird. That's the
they're
part.
weird.
Like it's Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
It's Iowa, Nebraska. It's Michigan, Ohio State. Those games are so hard to predict.
Yeah, I'm. This is what I like to do. I like to get real, spontaneous.
Okay.
Early in the week. And then
refine it later.
Refine it, sharpen it up, come back to the senses, or just stay out the planet. But I just want to go through the numbers for everyone and just talk through them a little bit. North Dakota State passing against CU, 18 for 22, right? So efficient game.
What was the average?
12 yards.
12 yards. Okay.
So
average Gabriel only had 7, which we won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Average, no turnovers, averaging, a first down every throw, right? 277 yards. So what that tells me is there's not a lot of QB hurries, not a lot of QB pressures. If there's only 4 incompletions, you could maybe say 1 was a throwaway, 3 was probably incompletions, or if none of them were throwaways. We saw last week, Dylan had a few throwaways, you know what I'm saying? But just to put it in perspective, that's not really been it
might have been a drop ball
exactly
as well.
Exactly. They ran for 157 yards. One running back carried the load, really.
That's the stat that gives me the most hope about it.
Not one running back. The quarterback carried the load. I don't anticipate Dylan rolling out and doing all that stuff. We did see Heinrich in there. We did see Heinrich, Dylan go out to receiver, and Heinrich kind of do some stuff that we predicted he would be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the receiving end, obviously, they catch, run receiver goes for 72, pretty much the same kind of stats that we had at receiver. So as I look at the tape and I look at like the way North Dakota State was able to move the ball, the biggest thing for Nebraska I see is, obviously not turn the ball over. That's a given. That's pretty standard across the board. But the number one thing for me is just executing. That's it. Like, you don't have to beat Colorado. You just have to beat yourself. Like, you can't I don't think Colorado is going to beat Nebraska defense to offense wise, because I think Nebraska can run the ball on them. I think that we can throw the ball on them. The only way that Nebraska loses the defensive battle is if they beat themselves.
Turnovers and penalties.
Turnovers, procedural things, letting the crowd get into play, letting the night game, letting the hype get in. And obviously we're on the media side of things. As a player, you don't let any of this get in your head. You don't go on your phone. You don't go on Twitter. You don't see this. You don't tune into this, this radio show. Like you stay locked in.
Well,
right?
that Matt Rule is what's interesting between two coaches is that's the exact approach Matt Rule's taken. Is they're not doing any rules where you don't wear gold or black. It's like, no, it's gonna be a normal week for us.
Yeah.
Do you like that approach?
Yeah, you don't add anything to it. And I saw it on Twitter. I commented on one video, like, it's already happening. Like Makai Gabriel said, Dylan's a dog, and they took it as he's saying Shadur's not. He never said Shadur's not.
Yeah.
He just said Dylan's a dog. Like, so those type of things are happening, which, I mean, it should happen.
That's how Dion likes to do it. And again, I think this is part of Dion. He's going to give you the side he wants you to see. I think it's calculated. I don't think he just spews to spew. I think he's calculated. He does what he does to get his players fired up, and it worked last year. It's hard to say it worked last year. We handed him a lot of offensive possessions, but they definitely got different styles about how they're gonna get their guys ready for this game.
No, for sure. Now switching over to Colorado's offense, and we'll get into defense and stuff like that here soon. Shador goes 26 for 34, average of 13 yards, 445 yards. right? 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. And the 1 interception, if you saw it, it was he threw it only where his guy could catch it. I thought it was a really good ball, really good decision. The defender fell on his face. It hit his leg and it bounced up. Okay. So this is the interception is
fluke pick.
Fluke pick. So when if a scout sees the 1 interception, they're gonna look back and be like, that's really not a pick, right? It was a good decision by him. They only ran the ball for whopping 59 yards. Their main back, Dalen Hayden, had 20 yards. Shador had 17 of them. So if you really do the math, he had 42 yards. They had 42 yards running the ball, right? So it's not like so as Nebraska, I believe defense-wise matching up, I believe they're going to take away the run, right? The number one thing for me, and we'll talk about it more as the week progresses, more in depth, just initial thoughts is when we have a 4-man pressure, 3 down front, add in the jack in, whatever it is, we send a blitz, we got to get home. Anytime you risk a blitz, we got to get home.
Especially with Shador.
Exactly. And to get a little bit more in depth on that, our contain, we need to keep inside the pocket. What I've been seeing is he's really comfortable scrambling. He's really comfortable outside the pocket. That's when the big plays happen. If you watch last year, a lot of the big plays that happened were when he got outside the pocket. When there's one where like Ty almost had him on a shoelace tackle, he got by that. I think he dropped it down to somebody and they scored, and he hit Weaver over top. We saw that he hit what's the other receiver's name? Wester.
Oh, okay.
LeJontay Wester. He's a stud. I really like him. Will Shepherd, really good too. Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, of course. But they got some pieces for real. They got some real pieces. So containing Shador, adding pressure. And when I mean pressure, I'm not saying you need to go for 8 sacks like last year, right? That would be awesome, right? But that didn't get the job done. Of course, you add in the offensive, fumbles, turnovers, all that good stuff. But what I mean by pressure is keep him in the pocket, and I'm not saying a sack, maybe a QB hurry. You know what I'm saying? Just speed up the thing. Make him go through a progression a little bit quicker. Don't if he gets through, if he gets to go through one, my first read isn't there, second read isn't there, third read isn't there. Like if he's able to do that, it's going to be a long day for the defense, right? Any defense put in that position with a top 2, top 3 quarterback in the nation, they're going to have some trouble, right? So making sure we send pressure, and like I said, when we send a blitz, if we send 6, you got to get home, because we saw last week when Malcolm Harzog, MC, phenomenal football player, by the way, but he was in a position where he's playing like 8 yards off, right? I expect this defense to switch some things up. I don't expect them to come out in the same scheme at all, due to the fact that this offense is way too dynamic to just let guys run free and not get hands on them early. So I expect there to be some situations where there's some type of clouding situation, meaning there's like a corner and a safety over top. They're bracketing certain guys. They're being keyed into what Colorado's doing, stretching the field. Because one thing about Jimmy Horn and Travis Hunter, they're going to get to the spots real fast. What I mean, they're going to stretch the field, and it allows Shador to go through his reads a lot faster, and the receivers get to their spots a lot faster. So that's what we're combating. The defensive line has to get home faster because the receivers are a lot faster. I mean, Jimmy Horn is, if he goes to the Big Ten, goes to one of these teams out here, he's a household name in the Big Ten conference. You know what I'm saying? So it will be fun to see, Harrison, for real.
Yeah, you go through this QB, who's got the edge, Colorado or Nebraska?
Colorado. I think Shador's.
I think you have to, right?
But I don't think it's a huge gap.
I don't think a coaching staff.
I think it's Nebraska.
Okay. Offensive line.
Nebraska.
Defensive line.
Nebraska.
Wide receivers.
I'll give it to Colorado.
I'm going to give it to Colorado too. Safeties, corners. We'll just group them together.
Safeties, corners. Yeah, I'll go Nebraska.
I think it's Nebraska too. And the reason why I want to say this is like you're really, really just emphasizing it's the quarterback That's their wide receivers. Like those are getting teams to stop.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we kind of got them in every
You got four.
category.
You got 4 players you need to watch out for.
Yep.
You got Jimmy Horn, or 5 players. You got Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester. I think people aren't talking about him as much. I think he's dynamic. He's explosive. He reminds me a lot of Xavier Worthy last year. Maybe a little bit faster. Probably a little bit less technician wise with route running, but I think he's a lot more explosive. You got Travis Hunter and you got Shador.
Mm-hmm.
So like you got those.
Not
and Jimmy Horn.
Yeah.
So you got those 4, 5, right? So it's not like a thing where, and I don't think Shiloh's a threat on defense. Like, I just think he has a Sanders last name. So it adds in a component. But when you turn on the tape, you're not like, dang, like we can't run the ball this way, or like we can't throw at him. And even when I look at Travis Hunter, I don't see like we can't throw at him. I don't see that at all. I think he takes a lot of plays off on defense, and we'll talk about this on the flip side.
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to go there.
We
are up to our break here, so I'll let you finish your thoughts.
Yeah, I think he takes a lot of plays off, and that's why I like to talk about when we come back from break.
Absolutely. We'll do that next. What's Brewing? Chancellor Brewington. Don't go anywhere.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring a friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month. Hurry, this deal ends soon. See Home Club for details.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Arsenal tied Brighton 1-apiece, followed by Leicester City falling to Aston Villa 2-1. On the final game of Saturday action, Man City defeated West Ham 3-1. On Sunday, Chelsea tied Crystal Palace 1-1, and then Liverpool cruised by Man United 3-0. The top 2 teams in the EPL standings are Manchester City and Liverpool, both at 3-0. You can catch all these matches and more to McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Explain to me again why we're sleeping on the ground.
Because we're thramping, thrift camping. It's saving us money and getting us closer to nature.
But we don't need to thramp. I just combined our home and auto insurance with our State Farm agent, so we have a rate that fits our budget.
All right. Do you think our agent can bring us an air mattress?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at USC in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a downtown LA hotel, exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at USC. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppel Chevrolet GMC, and Truck Month is back. We have absolutely gigantic savings right now at Coppel. They are offering $12,500 off on select new pickups. That is not a mistake. You heard right. $12,500 off list price right now on select new pickups. Those discounted units, though, will not last long. These are all manager specials. You have to come in now, so hurry in down 144th Street or shop online at coppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. Stock number G356093 must trade.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
For 15 years, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has been helping Lincoln become healthier, happier, and more fit through our proven combination of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. And to celebrate 15 years of success, we're offering you 50% off our next 10-week challenge beginning September 14th. That's 10 weeks of fun group fitness classes and individualized coaching for half off. And at the end of the 10 weeks, someone's walking away with $1,000 for the best transformation. Come check it out. What do you have to lose? Click on the banner at theticketfm.com to learn more. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill or 70th and Vine. And check us out online at fxblincoln.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment. Once Brewing with Chancellor Brewington, the former Husker tight end. To my left, the new host of Locker Room. Is that what it is? Mike Daniel?
Locker Room.
And that is 1 to 2?
1 to 2 p.m.
1 to 2 p.m.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. You can listen to the former Husker, a couple former Huskers at that. But house cleaning out of the way. You guys are always welcome to join in. We did get Brave Husker because I know we gave our predictions earlier. He did have 31-21.
Okay.
Nebraska.
Yeah, that's around what you had, right?
Yeah, I think we're all kind of. You were 38. I had 17-31.
I was a little happy.
I don't know. Like, it's
been
been a weird college football. I mean, we just saw Boston College beat the brakes off of Florida State.
That was unacceptable last night.
We saw Idaho push Oregon. And
I want to go see that film because that doesn't make sense. If you go see Dylan Gabriel, it looked like he played one of the best games of his life, right?
Yeah, 41 for 49.
Yeah,
but only a couple times. I think it goes back to what you were saying is yes, you got positive yardage, but did you actually execute? I I'd have to do a full breakdown of it, but that one caught my eye.
Right. Yeah. So college football is interesting. And the one game this week that I'm excited to see, and me and Mikey Daniels was talking about it, is the Michigan Texas game. And guess who's the favorite? Texas is the favorite
I would
by
think
7.
so. Yeah, Michigan.
Going to Michigan though.
I think so.
You
I would have
think?
picked Texas. Yeah, Quinn Ewers looks like the best quarterback in college football right now. I'd go Cam Ward 1.
Cam Ward?
Cam Ward? Did you see him?
I mean,
oh my Lord, he looked good.
Is
the
he a-
5th year senior?
Is he a 5th year?
Yeah, 5th year down in Miami. I mean, that
Was he Houston?
yeah, Houston. We have to
Houston?
follow his full track record. How many stops he had? I think it was only a couple of stops here.
No, but he looks special. He looks special.
Yeah.
He looks special. I think I definitely think he's in the top 5 category. I just don't know. I don't know what type of team Florida is, But I think while I was if y'all were listening to what I was about to say before we got off, I can't remember. But one thing I did want to say,
Washington State, want to correct that. That's where he was
Washington State.
Yep.
Okay, my bad. I'm tripping. But one thing I did want to say was about Shador, and it was about there was a situation, right? And there was a situation late game, 4th quarter, they're up, and this is the identity of this offense and this team. And I don't want to sound too critical, and I don't want to sound like a hater, but
they got their pen and paper out there listening.
It's glaring right now. It's glaring that this is a very undisciplined football team. And what I mean by this is not like, I'm not saying like it has anything to do with Shador and I'm not saying that, and the limelight and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm not hating on that, whatever. I'm just strictly talking from just like a football standpoint. Like, it looked like a lot of times like their defense like didn't know where to line up. It looked like a lot of times like they were out of position. There was a lot of like misassignments on defense. There was a lot of times, and there was a time, with Shador, like there's times where like he wants to make the big play so bad. Like there's times where, the back is open for a check down, or, the flat is the first progression. And like but this is the thing though, he ends up executing and making the big play, right? But when you look at it, it's like, if you do this against like, a top 15 defense like Nebraska, or, not even mention Nebraska, you go and do this against, Kansas or one of these good defenses, like you're not going to get the same results, And I think we saw that later in the year. And, just to be real, the O-line for Colorado isn't the best, right? This is something they've struggled with for the past 2 to 3 years, even before Coach Prime got there. But it's really evident now. We saw Shador take like 4 or 5 really, really, really big hits. But the thing is, he made the throws, right? So what people see is like, oh man, this kid's tough. But does he have to does he have to take that hit, right? Could that been avoided? Because NDSU, good FCS team, right? Up front, O-line, D-line don't have the same size, don't have the same athletes as a team like Nebraska or a team like, the Big 12 or all these different schools, right? If you get hit by Ty Robinson the way, he got hit against, like it's a different result. You get hit like from Nash or, P. Will, MJ Sherman.
Amari Butler coming off the edge. Who knows what we dial up.
Exactly. So that's one thing. But Shador is a special talent. I'm not taking anything away from, if anything, I'm adding to what people are saying, because he's able to make these big throws. But sometimes when we get these quarterbacks, it's kind of like Mahomes and when he was in college. One of the knocks on him was he wants the big throw so bad.
It's kind of like Caleb Williams at USC. It's the same thing.
Right. And it ends up kind of hurting him. It ends up kind of hurting the offense in general. Because you get the big plays, you get the yards per whatever, you get all those things. But it's like Miller Moss, right? Miller Moss for USC has a really efficient game, and people are now questioning, which I don't know if I agree with this. I'll get your take. Is the USC offense more efficient with Miller Moss instead of Caleb Williams, right? And so it's not really a factor of Miller Moss is better than Caleb Williams. We know that, right? But we're talking about strictly efficiency in Lincoln Riley's system. And it goes back to Shador, that it's a revolving door of just quarterbacks being efficient and making the right play, because the mix, I think this is what Mahomes has mastered with the Chiefs. And I see it in his game, the evolution of his game. It's like he takes the small plays. If you watch Mahomes, like the ball's in his hand for like a split second.
Yeah.
Split second. And then all of a sudden, like big play. right? Big play, big play. So he's taking what defense gives him consistently, and also that goes to the scheme of the offensive coordinator, all that stuff being on the same page, and yeah, it's a whole lot. Sorry.
Yeah, coughing over here. Real quick on USC. They were better with Caleb Williams.
Right.
They gave up 40 points to UCLA. It was the defense, period. And now is efficient? Yeah, I think it's fine, but it's definitely not an upgrade from Caleb Williams. Now he did play good. Yeah, I'm just not entirely sure. I'm sorry. What was the last part of that question there? I kind of locked in on the USC part.
To be honest, bro, I was going crazy. I was going crazy.
Yeah, I got a little bit of brain fog.
I was mainly talking about how Shador, how the offense, how he needs to be on the same page as the OC. And we saw that and we heard that last year. I don't know if you heard some of the comments he was making postseason. One of the issues they were having at Colorado with the offense was that the coordinator and Shador weren't really on the same page, right? And he ended up getting fired, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So you got this new coordinator. And what I'm wondering is if this might be a hot take. But what I'm wondering is if it's because like we wanted the big play so bad, and that can really be a cancer to an offense without them even knowing. You go back to like the Matthew Stafford days with Calvin Johnson. Like you want the big play so bad, right? Mm-hmm. But like you don't ever take the 5-yard hitch or the back out the backfield versus cover two, whatever it is, right?
But do you think that's the OC? Because again, I'm going to keep using this NDSU game because it's very similar. They almost had was that Miami that didn't kneel the ball last season and then ended up so Miami. They almost had a Miami situation where it's like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Take the knee. You try to get greedy. I have a hard time believing the OC was like, let's take a shot here. So is that once again just some miscommunication? I don't know. But I have a hard time believing the OC wanted to throw the ball there. It feels like that had to have been a check down or a check from or an audible call by Shador himself to want that big play. It's really hard for me to believe that the OC's clock management's that bad at the end of the game where he's willing to risk it, because NDSU ended up getting a Hail Mary. If that quarterback had a cannon that gave him 10 more yards, that's a touchdown and they lose.
Yeah. One thing I'll say about that situation, I am like, why would you do that? Right. It's easy to say from, this vantage point, you don't know what he saw, right?
Yeah. Hindsight 2020.
Exactly. But I would know and I would guess that Dion would coach that up. He'll coach it up and he would make sure that, that doesn't happen again. But if we see it happen again, then we kind of understand the identity of the team.
But this happened a lot last year. This is why I'm perplexed by it. It's like you should have learned. And I was talking about the Joe Klatt show and I completely agree with him. It's like, if this continues, you'll have a very disappointing season because there's a lot of games on the schedule that are probably going to be one possession games. And if you're not executing, you're not having good clock management, you're going to end up the ball's going to bounce the other way and you're going to lose. Like if I'm a Colorado fan, I'm very perplexed by why that that showed up right away again in week one.
And that goes back to a tweet and something I said on the locker room I put out. And I said, if Nebraska executes the way they did against UTEP and Colorado executes the way they did against North Dakota State, Nebraska wins by 2 scores, just pure off execution. You make that mistake against Nebraska, they might go, get a sack on that play or, get a knockdown or whatever it is, stop the clock, go down and score. And now you look crazy, right? You can't make those mistakes against. So I think this Nebraska team is well sounded execution wise. I don't think they make a lot of mistakes offense wise. I mean, I'm speaking from one game, of course. We don't have a bunch of history to go off of, but to see the improvement, first of all, that goes to Coach Rule and his staff, making it a point that penalties weren't going to be an issue. We saw the clip during camp of him ripping the team and, what type of team do we want to be? Do we want to play discipline or not? It shows that the team has bought into it. So you get a win under your belt against UTEP. You get a win under your belt against Colorado. Now the ball gets rolling and the city's on fire. Imagine if we comfortably beat Colorado comfortably. And like maybe even like the 2s get in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
whoa.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm
No,
just
I like
saying.
it. I like
I'm just saying. Like,
hypothetical.
I mean, maybe hypothetical. Maybe I'm being dead serious. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I go ahead. I just think I'm looking at their schedule, and it's like, say this hypothetical goes the way we're thinking here, and Nebraska wins comfortably. That's what I mean. I'm talking about those one possession games. Then you got Colorado State. We saw how that went last year. It was a close game.
Nail biter.
And you got Baylor. It's not no joke either. UCF, Kansas State, 17 ranked Kansas State, 20 ranked Arizona. Then you get Cincinnati, Texas Tech, number 11 Utah, number 19 Kansas, and number 16 Oklahoma State. That's a brutal schedule. So if you drop this one and you still don't fix those small execution things where you're kind of losing the games yourselves, it could be a very rough and bumpy season. I think they'll win some of these games, but I think they'll have, if they continue the way they're doing it, I think they're going to have some times where you're just going to give the ball away at inopportune times, not necessarily by turnovers, but just not properly executing. And these good teams, they're going to be a one possession game. They'll milk the clock and make sure they get the last shot.
Well, bro, what I'm seeing is that this Colorado team will be lucky. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we'll be lucky to win a few games. Like, to get 5 games this year, I would say is a win for this team, and if they keep playing the way they did against North Dakota State, if they keep that standard, what I'm trying to say, if they keep that standard against North Dakota State, they're going to go 4-7, 4-8, whatever it is. Right.
In the last year of Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, think about that part on top of it.
With a top 5 quarterback. So it brings me to my point is like, and I forget the college football analysis who said this, but you look at it like, are they going to win ever? Shedeur's going to leave after this year, right? Travis Hunter going to leave after this year, right? I mean, unless something happens where, they stay. I don't see.
I don't.
Shiloh's going to leave. Shiloh has to leave, right? So you get your 3 best players, quote unquote. I mean, Jimmy Horn is probably, in there, top 3, top 4. But you get your, 3 of your best players. They're leaving, right? So what do you now? If you're, we'll get in. I mean, I'm not even going to get into this, but I don't think if you're prime, you stay to this program. And
that's the whole question.
You
right?
build it like
he talks about, like he's going to.
Well, how are you going to build it if you're already showing that you're an undisciplined team? And that might be a take.
They're
that's
good.
A hot take.
That is on the bulletin already.
That's a hot take.
They got it up on the board in the locker room.
That's a hot take.
Former Husker Brewington stated.
I just think they're undisciplined. I'm sorry. I mean,
Week 1 showed that. It's not a crazy take.
Put something else on tape. Put something else on tape. Reasons why I say this. Alignment, procedural wise, there's a bunch of procedural things. Late hits, being dumb after the whistle, right?
They could have got a few more of those penalties.
Just being dumb after the whistle. Late game decisions in 4-minute drill. When you're supposed to milk the clock, you do that. I just don't see a real disciplined football team. And to be good in whatever conference, they're in the Big 12, right? To be good there, you got to be disciplined. There's really good football teams in there. Kansas is a really good football team.
They're on the Leipold's got that team cooking.
Telling you now.
And you don't want to, and like Utah, Kansas State doesn't get enough credit. I think Kansas State's actually going to be a scary team.
Their young quarterback. Some people have him like Heisman front runner. So
it's gonna be fun to watch. Now, we did talk about at one point Travis Hunter. Do you try to gas him out when he's on defense? Do you send Verts his way so that when he gets that? Because you talked about him, what maybe looked like giving up on some plays or just not putting full effort.
Well, it's hard, it's impossible to.
Exactly.
It's
so
impossible.
Do you try to gas him out?
Yeah.
Like, even on some routes that that's not going to be the hot route, but let's just send a Vert, make him run.
Oh yeah, I'm 1,000. Okay, I'll tell a quick story before we go to break. At Northern Arizona, we would have this play called Geronimo, right? And or it was Jumanji, I think, whatever it was. So you send so let's say the sideline is on our side, right? We're to the boundary. So whenever we are into the boundary and it's like first down, it has to be first down. We're into the boundary, we're on the left hash, whatever it is. We would do a Jumanji call where you would have your receiver that's out there, then you'd have 2 backup receivers ready and locked in, right? We ran 3 consecutive plays, go balls, right, on the same corner, right? go ball, go ball, go ball. And, if you don't hit all three, then it's whatever, right? But the point of it is that like they can't sub, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's making guys tired and using that to your advantage. And like I was saying, if they're gonna play man and they're gonna do all these things, I mean, use that to your advantage. If he's gonna play all these snaps, use it to your advantage. Use everything to your advantage. Shador likes to scramble, use it to your advantage. They like, deep balls, deep plays, use it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? If Travis Hunter is gonna be out there, if he plays 100 snaps, 60, 40, 35% of them aren't going to be full speed.
And we got wide receivers that are going to make him work this time around.
Exactly. It's not going to be like last year where it's a cakewalk where he covers, 7 real routes. You know what I'm saying? The only threat we had on the outside was really Marcus Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have like 6 different threats, like 4 or 5 different threats. You know what I'm saying? So
enough to pocket Malachi Coleman.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a whole nother situation in itself.
I'm excited. I'm trying not to like,
not trying to. I'm trying
to keep it level headed, but the excitement grows by the day here. And just for everybody listening, we're just going to go over this break here, streaming only, give you guys extra content. College football is here, but yeah, I'm just going to be fascinated by this game and the energy on top of it. It's a night game. We talked about it. Where does this rank for me? It's one in terms of hype that I've been alive. If you guys want to go back to when Nebraska was winning constantly, you can probably throw some really great ones out there, games of the century, stuff like that. But in my era, born in 99, it's certainly 09. You got Texas versus Nebraska when Nebraska had arguably one of the best defenses in recent history. And then you probably go Oregon and Colorado, Nebraska. This one's going to be right up there. We're going to keep refining these predictions. But Brewington, I'll ask you, since we only got a few minutes left here, is there any other games in college football outside of FSU and Boston College, because we talked about that one ad nauseum pretty much all day today, that really just caught you off guard? And if you don't got one, I got one for you that it just surprised the conversation around it, but I want to hear yours first.
You saying this past week?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can even try to pick a week 0 game if you felt like it got underappreciated or lost in the mix.
Probably the Michigan State one. Michigan State FAU. I was like, okay, is Michigan State going to pull away ever? And it just never happened.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was like 18-10 or 16-10.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
Only Michigan State only got 16.
16 points against FAU. Not really a real, star-studded defense. Like pretty average. They'll probably win, 6 games in their conference, right? It's not like, they're going to dominate their conference. So it's interesting. I think Michigan State plays Maryland this week. So you look at that matchup, I think Maryland's playing really good football right now.
Wins, yeah.
And I think it's like is it a landslide win? You know what I'm saying?
Two-score win. I don't think it's a landslide.
2-score?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one I was thinking of, and it just surprised me. So Georgia, I understand Georgia's a great team. I talked a little bit to Morning Pearsonell about this. They beat the brakes off Clemson. Clemson got 3 points.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, Georgia does that. Did you forget your Clemson? Like,
Right.
what happened? Like, it just blows my mind that like there's some
It's the Georgia
there's like a
effect.
little bit of apathy. Yeah, but it's like it still kind of blows my mind. It's like Alabama, I get it's Alabama, but I mean their season wasn't. It just kind of surprised me the okayness with Clemson fans. Like, well, it's Georgia. Like, it wasn't that long ago where you were the team to be feared. And do you like Dabo Swinney's approach of just kind of stiff arming the portal? It's different, right? Like, he's really focused on development, stiff arming the portal, doesn't like that idea. Do you think he's going to need to change routes here?
You got to conform at some point, like with the portal at least. I'm not saying like the whole philosophy, and I get he's not really a fan of that stuff. He's been very open and vocal about it. Kind of like he's kind of on the same wavelength of Saban when he was coaching.
Yeah, and Saban is like, I'm done.
Yeah. And so I don't know if this is a thing where he's just, protesting it so much because, he wants to take a stand, and because he's Dabo Swinney, a great, a big name, thinking people are going to follow. I don't know. Or maybe he really believes in that philosophy of, the best players are the ones that you develop. But if you look across college football, the transfers that come in, I mean, if you get a well-polished transfer who's, good character, high character, productive, does things well off the field, there's been some transfers that, don't pan out, get in trouble, they get the $1 million and,
start acting a fool a little bit.
Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, if you look across the board, I mean, there's there's transfers that come in and do amazing things and help teams out, and then go and get drafted the next year. Trey Palmer,
Banks,
Samari Toure.
Mayor. I know it's one game, but we just saw it.
You're right. So like, and you look at this roster, like on offense, like it's not all, but a lot of it is transfer portal. Dowdell. You think about, obviously Nair and Banks, Tommy Hill. You know what I'm saying? You think about all these pieces. Well, these guys came from the transfer portal and they bought into a culture. So, Clemson has a good culture. I think it's finding good pieces that will fit into there. And I'm sure that, the higher ups in Clemson want Clemson to be back on top. They had a great run from, I think it was 2015 to like 2018.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence era.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Deshaun Watson
and Trevor.
Yeah.
So it kind of trickled over, but like during those times, I get it. Like you had the Mike Williams, like the morning they was talking about Mike Williams. You had the Deion Keynes, the D Hop. You had all those guys, the Edenettes. But football is changing.
Well, it's just kind of a losing battle for him too, right? Because you guys, you don't want to bring guys in, but they can leave whenever they want. Like it's kind of a one.
Him and Deion are the outliers. Yeah. So you just got to have someone like Matt Rule that can meet in the middle.
Yeah, there you
and build a dynasty. See how I did that one right there?
I like that.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's a better way we can wrap up the show. So that's going to do it for us. Chancellor Brewington, one more time. Where can they find you throughout the day?
Yeah, listen. At Chancellor Brewington, at Chancellor Brew 1. My apologies. 1 to 2 p.m. Me and Mikey Daniels, the locker room. And you can go find my YouTube link in Twitter. And obviously, we'll not be doing the show on Wednesday, right?
Correct.
We'll be doing it Thursday.
Yeah, we got for programming notes' sake, we got Kendall Lehner. She's joining us. 10-11 News. She's going to bring in some guests on a weekly basis as well. Don't go anywhere. Up next, bring in a couple of Husker bowlers. Should be fun. They're going to debut their new show tonight, and we'll have a couple more next week as well. So we'll keep it rolling here on Take a Weeknights. Don't go anywhere.